Hello everybody, so by the title of the video, you might already know what I'm gonna talk today about. So it's a subject that it's hard to talk about, to be honest. Even though everybody asks about how I converted to Islam, it's an internal discussion that converts, I believe, have way more that we think, or that or maybe it's just me again. And I'm gonna start out by saying I haven't met a lot of converts. Maybe I know around 2, and it's nothing like personal. That's maybe a quick deep down, just because I want to give the depth, a short depth, like where I'm coming from this. And yeah, so I only know 2 converts, and I'm not necessarily really close with them, but I'm alhamdulillah, so it's good. It's amazing that I already know 2, but I'm the type of guy that doesn't necessarily go out. I'm not necessarily a lot in the community, and I'll talk about it more in the second part, because the first part I really want to say my story, and I'm really here for people that are looking into Islam. So, and you can always comment. I'll try to put maybe my socials down in the description if you have questions. And again, the first thing I can say is that everybody's different. The journey in Islam is amazing. I'll just start with my story, basically. So the first contact that I had spiritually, let's say, was when I was at the lowest, and that's another thing that I believe a lot of people would feel. So if you're in a state of doubt or a state of not really knowing where to go, for me, I was chasing one of my biggest goals, and I was doing since I was born. Basically, like since I was 3 years old, I was into dirt bike racing. And so I was only at 18 that I had the chance, I guess, to see something different. In that sense that dirt biking wasn't fun anymore. It was becoming a headache. It was driving me downhill. Like, at one point it was bringing me good, now it was bringing me bad. I'll forward a little bit, sorry, I get caught up. But so basically, like one night I was just completely done. I was contemplating suicide. I was trying to get more spiritual, let's say, but I'm coming from a background that I want to say atheist. It's not that I was not believing in nothing, but I had no clue what to believe in. I wasn't necessarily in something. Like, I wasn't necessarily more into science or more Christian. I was nothing like that. But what I can say is that my family was originally Catholic, but I never went to church really, or it was just like once every like couple years for Christmas. Yeah, it was really random. So it was really random. Like, the only spiritual, I want to say, like feeling I had was when I was talking, or exposure. Let's say exposure to my friend that was Christian, and that's basically a really quick conversation. But at that time, anyways, going back to how I got into more spiritually, is like that one night that I actually wanted to take my life, sadly. It was weird. Like, I lived in a basement and had this tiny window. Like, that window wasn't big at all. And I'm saying this because I looked outside that window, and I would never necessarily do that because there's nothing to see in a basement. But I don't know, I was sitting like on the ground, and something caught my eye in that split, like, and all this is a split second. So it's not like I had to like think about it and like contemplating. Nah, it happened so quickly yet so drastically that it hit me, that I looked outside, I saw clouds, I saw the breeze, I saw the stars, and I believe the stars really got to me in the sense that I'm like, I'm just a small piece of this universe. There must be something else out there. It's like that whole reflection of that just made me take a huge step back. I'm like, it's impossible that there's clouds, that this, that's that. Why am I even here? Why am I doing this? Why was I put in that situation? Why am I here? Like, I'm such a good person. I never did, I want to say, any wrongs. Obviously, I wasn't perfect. I wasn't like delusional, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a bad person. And so that all that like that again, that happened so quickly, but it just, this story, I just want to say that was what did it for me to start my spiritual journey, because I do believe that we need to have that spiritual aspect. We all have it in us, but it's just like being aware of it and okay, let's look, because it's really hard to be like, and I believe that's for any like religion. It's really hard to be open-hearted, open-minded if you don't know necessarily what you're looking at. Because if you're gonna read the Quran and you're not open, well, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what it says if you're emotionally blocked, if you're spiritually blocked. It's just gonna be another science book. So this is what a little bit what I'm gonna, like, why I'm saying this, because that's, for me, that spiritual thing was really hard and was really it didn't come like in a happy fashion. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't just like, I saw something touched me and boom, like light came out and this, that happened, perfect scenario. No, it was in the probably worst situation in my life. Now I can say that. That happened maybe, that was probably 17 at that time. And now, yeah, so it's been like a couple years. It's been like at least 5 years. Anyways, all that to say, fast forward, that I did some moves in my life, changed schools. That's what I mean, changed cities, because that instant made me think about, I need to live differently. And it's really hard, because where do I start? How do I do things? And so it's still really hard to define, because it's not something that I'm really technical, that I can explain technically. So anyways, I started my spiritual journey with that one friend that I knew that was Christian. And again, that's nothing in Christianism. It's nothing about anything like that. Like, I still go to church sometimes with him. We have amazing discussions, and I do believe like we need to interact way more with them. And I'm saying with them, like I'm talking about like other people, like foreign people or anything like, nah, it's like we need to become neighbors, we need to become family. And this anyways, that's just one thing I wanted to say out there, because I don't want people to get mad or anything. Sorry about that, I'm just procrastinating on saying it. So basically, I started talking with him, really trying to get in, reading the Bible, working on my spiritual muscle, let's say, and I'm really getting into it, really nice, but I was never able to fully commit to it. And it's not necessarily like, okay, going to church every day, but like spiritually commit to Jesus, let's say. And again, I'm saying, full disclosure, that's me. I'm not judging anything. This is my journey. You know what I mean? So this is how it happened for me. So yeah, it didn't just click with me for some reason, but I was always spiritual in that sense. I already started the journey into that. And so then I went to college, and I had friends that were Muslim before, like my whole high school were Muslims. Let's say I said whole school, but like let's say 95% of my high school was Muslim. I never talked to them about religion. Nobody really talked to me about it. In my head, it was just something that Arabs were or Africans were. Like, it was never like, oh yeah, a white person is Muslim. So for me, I wasn't even debating on it in that spiritual journey that I had. I just thought it wasn't for me. Like, just because, and that's the thing, not for me just because it's not for me, but for me because of my color of the skin or where I'm from or the language I spoke. You know, so it was really more psychology, like in my head, than anything else. And that aspect I found really weird, but that's a total different discussion. But once I was at college, I met somebody that was a convert, and he wasn't white or he wasn't anything, but he was a convert. And that was so weird because at that time I got no clue how it happened. We were just talking. Somebody meant a convert, and they brought it to me. Hey, Sam, like, I'm a convert, because I know, like, I was able to have discussions still about spiritual stuff with people. And that one person just introduced me to this convert, and we start talking about it. And I guess it was the time and the event that happened. There's just sometimes just it happens like that. Everything is written right. So it was crazy. Anyways. So he started talking to me about Islam and the basic of it that I never necessarily researched about, or because I had no clue what to research about. Like, I thought it was just, again, like foreigners, and so it wasn't necessarily applied to me. So that was really interesting at first. And it went on to, I studied, like, no, I didn't study, but I listened to YouTube videos for hours and hours in a day. Like, it was crazy. Like, in between classes, I was listening to that. During classes, it didn't really matter. Pretty crazy how, like, that just turned a 180. I can't even describe it. And the first thing that hit me, couple things that hit me, and couple that hit me initially, and I'll say what, like, right now, how I feel about why and how it happened, basically. So the first initial thing that what hit me was the books. It's about that Islam doesn't deny the other books that came before. And for me, again, take account that I'm really technical. I have a technical mind. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't really get into Christianism. Again, that's my opinion and my journey. I'm not taking anything from the Bible. Again, I'm not in the position to. I don't have enough knowledge. But why is everybody denying the next book or the book previously, but Islam accepts the previous books? And why was the Quran the last book? I don't know. For me, it's like chapter 1. Yeah, the Quran was chapter 2. Quran was chapter 3. So why? It's like you're stopping at chapter 1 or chapter 2. Why not get to chapter 3? I see it like that. Again, there's no technical reason. There's also spiritual stuff about it. But that was just in my mind as a let's say non-believer at that time. It was really shocking that was in the book, that they mentioned it. It mentioned the previous books. So that shook me. Really, that really shook me, because that finally somebody that doesn't deny the other. It was something simple like that. It's like, okay, I see. Finally, somebody that doesn't want to fight everybody about the religion. So that got me, reeled me in a little bit. The concept of Allah, having that one power, that one God, the King, the Merciful, the All Creator. That really just clicked for me a lot, because that's one thing that I had a hard time understanding, and still do to this day, about the Trinity of Christianity and the Bible and that world. Yeah, again, I tried, I did my research, I tried, and it wasn't for me again. It's, you know, it is personal for me, because I don't want to hurt people. That's why I hate doing it. That's why it took me so long to do these videos. Anyways, in the Taran, never really got into it either. Read it quickly, but I knew that I found Islam and that was my way. But again, always trying to seek to be better, so I will need to read about that. But these were the two that right now I can think about. And now what hit me later on was the technicality and the black and white of Islam and the simplicity of Islam. That was also a little bit in the beginning, but it was really hard to define. It was really hard to see the technicality because I didn't really have the knowledge at that time. But I like how simple it was. That it's not complicated as most people think. So anyways, and for right now, or later on a bit more when I learned about it, was really it set up that baseline. It set up a way that you don't ride the roller coaster up and you cannot go too down in your, how can I say this, into your emotion, into your spirit, into your character. Because for me, sometimes I get really pumped. I go not necessarily crazy, but I can go really committed. Like I can go, okay, I haven't run for like 2 months, I'll just go run 40K. I'm like that. I don't know if it's like an addictive type personality. I don't know. But Islam just set up that bar in everything you do in life. It brings you back central. Okay, your prayers. Example, you cannot just deviate for too long because, okay, you have 5 prayers in that day. So it helps you bring you back at every single stage of the day. And that's how I see it. And there's other things like, okay, now drinking, that helps you, again, cope with it. Okay, if I want to or not. Or, again, everybody's different. Everybody has different battles. So that I'm going more, okay, yeah, I won't even go into that. But it sets you that baseline, that it's simple. I know a lot of people see it as controlling. But it's not controlling, because once you learn why it's there, and it's not there to control, but it's there for you, to care about you. It's like your mom saying, oh, don't come back before 11. When you're small or before it's dark. You don't understand. Oh, well, we're having fun, this and that. But you don't understand the bad things that can happen. Like, you know, like you don't know the people or their intentions or anything like that. That word, the world can, like the world, what can happen to you, basically, right? So these are just the things that happen. And now I'm talking so much and I'm losing what I was initially trying to say about the simplicity. But basically, it was like, it's black and white. It's the prayers. You don't drink, trying to eat halal, of course. All these little things were simple, but yet defined. I saw it like that. Like the angels too. Angels were another point. Why do we have Angel Gabriel, but Christianity also have it? We still believe in Adam. Like, you know, all those prophets. Yeah, and I think that's the third point that affected me in the beginning, like the prophets. So we believe in all the prophets. We believe in Jesus. But the only difference between everything was basically Muhammad. Again, that goes back to the chapters and how that really made me just look into it way more. And that's what happened, and that's why I was looking at those videos, and alhamdulillah, it was a good time. And then after, how I converted was totally random. I just wanted to go check out the mosque, and I was stressing out. I was shaking. I'm not even gonna lie. That was with the same guy. I was gonna go with the same guy that I initially talked to, the convert, because that was basically the only contact I had with a Muslim, and I was comfortable with in that sense to go. Randomly, we decided to go. just to see. And I was shaking all the way, because all the way there I was shaking, wasn't feeling comfortable at all. I was going through it because I told myself I was gonna go at least. Yeah, so I really didn't feel good at all. And once we got there, I just opened the door, again really confused into how to feel, what to do. But directly when I pulled that door, got in, there was this guy. This, Salam alaikum, brothers. Then I don't know. Again, it's was this feeling that it just hit me. Total calm. I just got in. Boom. First step. Looked up, and boom. Like, I got comfortable. My feeling of anxiousness or feeling not good, like, just went away. And I was present and I was open. That was the first thing that I really felt odd. Then they just showed me the mosque and stuff like that. I just went around. Like most converts, I wasn't shook. There was no seating area, let's say. Kind of knew about it already, because I know a lot of people do those. Well, where I'm gonna sit, but no, I really found that cool. Seeing it in person, because I saw it sometimes in videos or like, you know. But yeah, so then after we saw around, we sat with some executive, I guess, from the mosque place. And no, not even that. That was not that point. Just showed it around, and we went to do wudu. And I don't. Again, it's just random things that while I was doing wudu, again, I wasn't an expert at it. So my friends was there, kind of explaining to me Then he stepped away. Then I continued. And when I was finished wudu, and that's again really a sensation that I cannot explain. I felt enlightened. I felt something touched me. Light, I felt elevated. Really odd. Like, the only thing I can compare it to, but it's not the same, it's when you're about to pass out. Because I already blacked out, passed out, yeah, just by, like, you know what I mean, just by getting up or by doing activities. I already had that feeling before. That's the only comparable thing that I can compare it to. So if it happened to you, or you know, like sometimes you get up and you have like a spinny head and you see black, woo, or was that type thing, but like 100 times more intense. But instead of seeing, example, black, it was light. It was really odd. Anyways, I got I felt like you got elevated instead of like trying to, like, you know, back out, but you got elevated. I don't know why then, now, how, why, I do not know. Was it because I cleaned myself and in my mind I was in the state of I'm gonna pray, or I'm cleansed now? I don't know. But I looked at my friend, and I'm like, I'm converting today. Because this never happened to me in my life. I never experienced something like that. And again, I did my research before. I was doing all that. It was maybe 3 months into my research. But taking in the research I was doing every day, though, it's probably equivalent to a 2-year diploma. I don't know. But yeah, so that's how it basically happened. Then after I went to see the executive, talked to the imam, saying, well, somebody wants to convert. And the funny thing is, it was that it was on a Friday. I didn't know what was happening on a Friday. So it was basically packed. It was packed of people, and I was at the main mosque. It wasn't just like a random, like smaller mosque, you know, like I don't know. There was probably like 300 brothers there or 500. I don't know. It was packed. So yeah, the Imam just called me up after prayer, and I did my Shahada there. Really funny. I had no clue what to say because I didn't actually looked into it before because I wasn't ready to do it. So I had no clue what to say. I was the whitest person like there with the whitest accent, so I couldn't like no, not I couldn't, but it's like it was hard to say the Shahada, of course, but nothing like that wasn't even in my like mind beforehand to should I practice it? You say it and that's it. It just happens. It's a feeling, and even though you don't have it perfectly, it's not like nobody really cares because your intentions is what counts for me, and so that's why I committed to Islam like that. I wasn't expecting this video to start to last 26 minutes, because I didn't even get into my journey was only the beginning, the initial state. So this is how I started, and I'll do a part 2 for sure for the after the converting, how I felt, how I'm doing, my challenges, the ups and the downs, because I do believe that's even more important to be aware of. And again, it's nothing concerning. It's just me, how I think. It's always like a step ahead. Oh, what I'm gonna do, this is that, and so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'm sorry if it's a bit long. I love explaining things, but yeah, I'll do a part 2, and let me know if you have questions, if you have doubt, like into okay, what is this guy doing? Like he doesn't know anything, or because you might think about how I talk. I don't talk really like Islam words or anything like that. Still really white. Let's say that. But yeah, if you have any questions, anything, something I forgot or something I didn't elaborate on, I can do another video or anything like that. So stay blessed, guys, and stay tuned for another video, part 2. Thank you.